all the happenings. Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
This is Sunnyside on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
You are in the right place, the number one Let's Talk station where you have all the best conversation, mentally stimulating, not just noise. We talk and make a lot of sense. And in the process, I'm sure lots and lots of people have learned, they get educated, they get enlightened. Well, today is not going to be any different as we will be talking some political issues. The campaign started since 28th of September. The candidates are in the news for one reason or the other. And from time to time, we'd love to always, go back in retrospect and check some of the antecedents of some of these candidates and speak about them with a view to projecting into the future and determining who is best for us. Okay, so today we will be looking at the good, the bad, and the in-between. I don't want to call it ugly because there's always some other option, right? So that's how we'll be taking this conversation today. And joining me in the studio is Innocent Peace-Udochukwu. He is the National Coordinator of the Peace Language Group. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good afternoon.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for inviting me.
Thank you for coming too. We're always glad to listen to people like you speak to us about the issues.
Yeah.
Like I said, the good, the bad, and the in-betweens is always there in our faces. Sometimes I visit the social media space and I see, all the supporters and the fans bantering back and forth. And no doubt, I don't know if you would say that the candidates, at the forefront, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, and the likes of them, sure, whether they're angels, but a lot of Nigerians will believe that none of them is a saint. Because at some point in time, there was always something hanging in the air. You have evidence of newspapers. Nigerians, we can go back, we like to dig.
Yeah.
And you have evidences or some allegations here and there, as we always like to call it, because unless a court pronounces you as guilty, we're always careful to say allegations.
Yes.
So let's start with some of these allegations that some of these candidates are having to battle to clear up their names. Okay. For example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is always, accused or having allegations of some sort of association with some very, interesting stuff as it has to do with corruption, with Lagos tax and the likes of them. You look at the likes of Atiku, and many people would also tell you that he has his own history. While he was vice president, he has had issues to answer in terms of corruption issues too. Peter Obi is also accused. I was looking at this morning how some people went and dug up what do you call it now, a newspaper that said he stored up money in the bank when he was governor of Anambra instead of actually carrying out the projects, and that the Pandora issue is also one to speak about. Now, these are some of the issues that we have. Many would ask, right, that is it possible for us in Nigeria to have people who have impeccable records, or is it a must that someone must have some of these things to grapple with?
Well, just like you said about you started with Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
You said something about people accusing him of Lagos tax and all that. All those things are in the public space. It's not something you allege or you are saying is it there or not. What is corruption? You have your wife 3 times senator. You have your daughter as the lodger of Lagos State. You have your company as a tax collector, even up to the federal level. And so many other things. The corruption is there for all to see. It's not something you try to look for. It's all over the place. Then when you come to Atiku, I think WikiLeaks just released an info that he is part of the oil thieves. Let me use that word. And OBJ, Obasanjo, also said that one of his greatest regret is having him as his vice. So, because of what? Because of corruption. And if you dig deeper, you discover that he was in the police, sacked because of corruption, in the customs sacked because of corruption. So all these things are in the public space. And then when you come to P2B, anybody who is accusing him of storing money in the banks without working, I think is begging the question. The person is being economical with the truth. Good and fine. He left 750 billion or 75 billion in the bank for the next governor that took over from him. There's nothing wrong with that. He constructed more roads in Anambra State than any other governor, living or dead. He took Anambra State from number 23rd position on WAEC to number 1st. That is education. And so many other sectors that he touched. So anybody who is trying to accuse him of not doing much is begging the issue. Is not being he's being economical with the truth. So to him, when you said there is no saint, I'm sorry to say, if you're a Christian, a true Christian for that matter, of which you have seen in him, you are sent. You don't need any other person to,
so you think he
to
has
give
no
you
saint?
that title.
He's one person we can adequately call a saint.
He is a saint because he's a Christian. That is one aspect.
So are you saying anybody who's not a Christian is not a saint? Is that what you're saying?
It depends on your religion. But if you are a Christian, a true Christian, you are a saint.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that.
Search your Bible. Read your Bible. Well,
Okay, so you're saying anyone who says anything about Peter Obi is being economical with truth. So I mean, the issue of the what do you call it now, Pandora papers and all that. You make reference of WikiLeaks that reveal some stuff. So how do we lean on WikiLeaks and not also lean on the report of the Pandora making accusations?
when I mentioned WikiLeaks, I mentioned some other areas. I didn't just base my talk about Atiku's corrupt record only on WikiLeaks.
Okay.
You know, when you are in the mouth of 2 or 3, a matter will be established. Peter Obi as a man, his records are very straight. Let me tell you the truth. If Peter Obi had something to hide with the kind of popularity he's enjoying today, with the way he is shaking the whole political space, the way he's breaking the barriers of political permutations and all that, they would have picked him up. They would have started harassing him with EFCC and all that. But for the fact that all these things are happening, these people are helpless about the whole thing, it shows that the man can be trusted.
Okay.
The man can be trusted.
So now looking at what we are projecting towards 2023, needs a good leader who is a visionary. We have nobody wants to be in this place again. If anything wants to have something out of this place into a place where we deserve to be. Because Nigeria, I mean, one of the time we're referred to as a giant, we're doing, people need to calm down. And we hope to go back to that place and even transcend beyond.
Yeah.
In your assessment now, who possesses the right, qualification, and every other thing that is required for us to get there?
Like, you know it yourself. The result is always already there for everybody to
why?
see.
No, I mean, I want you to make an assessment of all of them.
Yes.
And then you tell me what
let me tell you. You come to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What is he campaigning with? I am fit. I can ride a bicycle. I can do jogging. That is the only thing he's campaigning with.
Well,
I am fit enough. Listen, I am fit enough to be president. I am not sick. Those are the major issues about him. The same thing Atiku said, I am going to unify Nigeria. But